Chapter 3. What is a money mindset? A money mindset specifically relates to money and produces real results. This means that your money mindset produces the financial results in your life. I saw this principle in action very clearly when I worked as a debt advisor. My main driver for taking on this role was believing I might be able to make a difference to people in debt because of my own childhood experiences. If I could just help people get out of debt, I thought, everything would be okay, and their children would never have to go through what I did. When I was 6 and my father's business was collapsing and we were losing everything, all I wanted was for an adult to step in and take control and do what was needed to stop the debt getting worse. From my adult perspective, I can see now that meant putting a plan in place to restore positive cash flow. However, as I went about my work as a debt advisor, I kept noticing that no matter how often I helped people, they would just go straight back into debt. I finally realised that financial results were driven by a fixed money mindset when I worked with an elderly couple in 2009. She was 76 and he was 75. And when I visited their house, both were crying with anxiety and distress. Their bank had lent them £12,000, even though they were pensioners with no assets. Technically, at that point, their home was no longer fully their own either, due to an equity release scheme. I really felt for them, helped them to resolve the situation and finally got the bank off their back. Within a month, I went on to work with their daughter, who was also in debt, as well as their son and a cousin. The whole family seemed to have the same type of spending patterns. Soon their finances were under control. Then 6 months later, the father called me to say they were in debt again, and could I please come and sort it out? Again! I was lost for words. At first I felt betrayed because I thought my work had really made a difference to the family. Then I felt angry. On reflection, I can see that those feelings of betrayal and anger said more about me than them. These were about my own issues, as I had been reliving some of my childhood trauma while working with them. Then the penny dropped. I realised this family had a fixed way of thinking about money. Being in debt was the way they planned their finances. They would always get into debt no matter how much money they might have. Being in debt was their mindset. Unless they changed their beliefs, values, thoughts, feelings, and decisions about money, they would remain in debt, and the results would be both predictable and inevitable throughout their lives. Introducing the 4 money mindsets. Over time, I began to see the same in-debt mindset again and again. Once I understood how the mindset of my debt advice clients worked, I began to research further, comparing them to people who were not in debt, and it became clear that there were a number of distinct money mindsets, each producing different results. By analysing the key beliefs and values, feelings and thoughts about financial success in relation to the actual finances of these people, I was able to identify 4 specific money mindsets: rich, comfortable, break-even, and in debt. The rich money mindset. This group believes they are entirely responsible for their financial success. In their view, financial success is available to anyone, although some might have had a much better starting point than others. Financial success is the result of hard work and drive, the ability to leverage any available resources, delayed gratification, risk-taking, overcoming obstacles, and dogged persistence. Importantly, they create wealth and use their assets and ability to leverage and add value. The comfortable money mindset. People in this group believe they must work to be financially secure. In their view, financially secure people make sure they save for a rainy day. They believe everyone should strive to make themselves financially secure, and that the security is the result of consistently saving money and never spending more than what you earn. Delayed gratification is their maxim. They feel resentful of people who get into debt and then expect a bailout. Their money comes by way of exchanging or selling their time and skills, and they feel that the only way to accumulate money is to work harder or to have a stroke of luck, like a lottery win. If they need more money for something unexpected, they will very reluctantly dip into their savings. The break-even money mindset. People in this category believe that getting into debt is bad and that people should learn to manage on what they have. In their view, financial success equates to always paying bills on time and never getting into debt. They often feel that people like them could never be rich and that they have little control over the amount of money they can bring into their lives, so they simply have to make do with what they've got. Money comes from exchanging their time and skills, or from a pension or welfare, and like the comfortable group, they believe the only way to get more of it is to work much harder or through a stroke of luck. Saving extra cash is impossible because there is always something that has to be paid for. Any unexpected expenses will have to come from living expenses, which means they will go without until the next payment comes in. If that isn't possible, they will further defer payment and do without something else. They will avoid going into debt if they can, but if the expense is large enough to warrant it, they will pay it down as quickly as possible to get back to break-even point. The in-debt money mindset. These people believe that they just do not have enough money no matter what they do. They feel as soon as they get money, a portion of it will go to pay off debts and the rest will be gone soon after. This group often spends on others through feelings of guilt or duty and finds it difficult to delay gratification. If they unexpectedly need extra money, they will borrow it. Delayed gratification and impulse control are two primary skills of human behaviour. Someone with a diminished ability to delay gratification will inevitably have money worries. They are typically at the mercy of impulsive shopping sprees. Your financial records tell the story. You can see the mindset very clearly from the financial records of an individual, couple, family, or business. Even if someone with an in-debt mindset wins the lottery, within a few years, much, if not all, of the money will be gone. We have all heard stories of people coming into vast fortunes and blowing the lot. I remember the story of Evelyn Adams from New Jersey, who won the state lottery twice. Within a short time, she lost her $5.4 million total winnings and ended up living in a trailer. Winning the lottery isn't always what it's cracked up to be, she said. Peter had a fabulous job in London and earned a significant salary. By the time he was in his 30s, his widowed mother had helped him to buy a tiny apartment and bailed him out of debt several times. He avoided bankruptcy twice. He inherited a sizable fortune and spent the lot within 2 years. He then remortgaged his flat to fund his lifestyle as property prices rose in London. The more money he had access to, the more he spent. A couple of big pay rises at work allowed him to borrow much, much more. Eventually his debts exceeded his mother's assets, so she was unable to help him anymore. Bankruptcy was inevitable. Our work together led to him rebuilding his relationship with money and changing his mindset so that he never ended up bankrupt again. Each mindset is driven by its own distinct sequence of money flow, and we will examine this in the next chapter. Action steps. By now you know yourself pretty well. So which mindset sounds most like you right now? Why do you think that? Write a brief money biography that shows the patterns of your thinking and behaviour around money.